It's beefy, baby.
Hey.
My name is Luke Hodson.
Alex Morrison.
Hey.
You ready? I'm ready.
It's a movie podcast.
Hey.
Let's get it.
Hey.
Grease-soaked mess.
It's a movie podcast.
Hey. Rated PG-13. Hey.
Your mom didn't make that casserole.
Beef.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Are you going to say hello?
'Tis dark. 'Tis grim.
Okay.
All might be lost, yet a stalwart hero approaches. What is your name, traveler?
Say it.
Your name.
Andrew, sir.
Andrew. And what brings you to this fine beef tavern?
Doth thou havest the beef?
We shall see.
Beef filled, you might think.
My name is Luke Hodson.
Hi, my name is Alex Morrison.
And we are joined today by a very, very special baby boy guest by the name of
Andrew.
Oh, that was so sweet. That was like something
Yeah.
soft.
Thank you.
Make sure to say hello, Andrew. We have a very broad audience.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bucket of Beef.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what do you do, Andrew? What's your association with this Bob show?
Well, many moons ago, in another life, they may say, I worked on a tree farm with our boy Luke Hodgson here.
Ooh,
And,
I didn't know you worked on the tree farm,
he
too.
did?
Yeah, I might actually be the longest running employee from the tree farm.
Drew is our foreman.
Besides Luke, I was the
Hey.
foreman for 7 years.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Worked my way up, as they say, and then I just happened to become a graphic designer because what do you do when you have ADHD and no aspirations at 16? But yeah, I became a graphic designer, and I am the person who created the Bucket of Beef brand.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
he
fucking
did.
go.
He did.
Really sprinkled that in right at the
I
end.
gotta
there.
pitch
Like,
that
I
in a
got
little bit.
chills. Oh, yeah.
Damn. Executive producer Andrew Biggs.
Yeah, executive producer, honestly. You are tagged at the end of or in the I guess like the taglines of every episode. Everyone's like, "Who is this?" And we tag you on Instagram so everyone has seen your Instagram handle. They know who you are.
Yeah, what you've gotten like 80,000 new followers since our partnership, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah,
Honestly,
easily, yeah, maybe more.
I love the idea that someone would watch the show and never know who I was, and now we can like reveal it. You know, it's the unveiling, as they say.
Exactly.
It is. It's absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
the man behind the beanie.
Yes.
The man behind the beef.
The man
So
behind
the man behind the beef. So the poll was your poll, and you gave us all of your picks. I do want to ask, like, the picks that you chose. Why did we pick all of them? And at the end of this question, how do we feel about "Dude, Where's My Car" being picked?
Okay. So this is gonna sound really stereotypical, but I'm a Wes Anderson boy. I love those movies. Like drama, weird indies are like my favorite. And going into it, I was like, I don't want to do Wes Anderson movies because I feel like it's so on point, it's so on brand for me that I was like, I want to find something that genuinely was like pivotal or interesting, or even something if someone hasn't seen it could be kind of fun, which I've learned a lot of movies from you guys just watching the show. So I was like, okay, I want to find something new that someone wouldn't have seen. I think my first pick was The Master, which I believe is one of Philip Seymour Hoffman's greatest performances, on
still
top
wanna
of the
see it.
fact that
Yeah, me too.
you can watch it without knowing like the whole lore behind it. It's kind of culty. I'll give you that hint, but it's not like widely known, or it's not clear that it's a cult movie. I would say Brazil is just like a classic, strange movie. I didn't actually even know it existed growing up, and then I don't know, sometime in high school, someone was like, "Hey, you know that Robert De Niro movie?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" It ends up being kind of a strange mind fuck. Sorry, wait, can I swear? Is that a thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will curse.
You can threaten politicians.
Fuck. Yeah, we can
fuck.
swear as much as we want.
We can threaten people.
Yeah, 100%.
Incredibly. These are credible threats.
That I feel like we probably should.
So, sorry, I have to
CIA
do-
is going
I
to
have
come
to
for
do-
our ass.
All I'm
yeah.
going to say is we've got buckets of plans, all right?
Shut the fuck up.
KFC is gonna come after your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That world famous bucket belongs to us, all right? There might not be any beef in there, but it has the heart and soul of
Absolutely,
a
it
heifer.
does.
honestly, you can't call yourself. Honestly, that's like chicken. Chick-fil-A doesn't have the bucket, so you got to come in and be the beef to their chicken.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Fuck
That's an
Chick-fil-A.
amazing quote. You got to be the beef to their chicken.
Man.
Yeah.
That feels like that's a peace treaty right there. Okay,
Honestly,
go ahead,
you
continue.
could be a better Chick-fil-A. So Under the Silver Lake, I thought would be fun because I feel like no one saw it. Like, I feel like I'm the only one who watched it when it came out, and it's very like. Have you ever seen Once Upon a Time in LA that kind of reviews like, the lore of the film industry in LA? I feel like Under the Silver Lake plays into like the zaniness that does seem to be LA. Like, while New York I think has its charm and its weirdness as a city, I feel like LA maybe in the last like 30 years feels like some lawless strange land. Especially when I was visiting there, I was like, this shit exists. Like, someone paid to build this here. And Under the Silver Lake experience, like the whole conspiracy to it. I picked a lot of cult movies now I'm thinking about it. But the whole conspiracy
Are you
to
a
that
paranoid
movie.
person, Drew?
What?
Are you a paranoid person?
Yeah, maybe a little.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
I mean, I live in a basement, I feel like that
Interesting.
tracks.
Don't let him do this to you. Don't let him do this.
He's gonna talk me into paranoid conspiracy. Now I have a platform. What have you done? So with those three movies, I felt like they were all very wide picks for finding like strange movies that all had a lot to talk about. But when I was thinking about the audience and the movies that you guys have reviewed, I feel like you guys have gone a lot more into like the dramas, the cult classics, even I think like recontextualizing like really big movies. Like Rambo and Predator I think were my favorites because you looked at action movies a lot differently. And in reality, Dude, Where's My Car? Going into it, I hadn't seen it in years. And I was like, this might be a piece of shit movie. But it'll be funny to see what the take is. And even how I feel about it as someone who's very invested in film. And,
Hell yeah.
So Dude, Where's My Car was just like let's throw it out there and see. I was kind of hoping that people would be like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Which I think succeeded.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't seen this movie.
I'd never seen it.
You'd never seen it?
Never seen
I did
Dude,
not know
Dude,
that.
Where's My Car?
I had no
This is the
idea.
first time I've ever seen it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like we have a bunch of perspectives here because I used to watch this a lot.
Oh, really?
Like a lot.
No, I had no idea what was happening.
I'd seen it once.
Okay, so we have the one view, the no view, and like I was watching this a lot when I was probably
In high school?
Yeah, like
Or
well, I mean
middle
like
school?
middle school, like 13, 14. I was like, I relate so hard. To
No,
this.
it's prime like 13 to 17-year-old.
Oh,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I saw this movie till I was like at least at the end of high school, maybe
Yeah.
college even. I feel like it was high school, but I couldn't remember really.
No, and it was such a treat. Honestly, we watched it like at 2:00 today, and for some reason we had like a larger viewing party than we typically have.
We
too.
did. There were like 5 of us in the living room.
Yeah, like we were like 5 of us watching it, and 3 of them left. But like, not to negate the fact that it was so much fun.
I had a great time.
No, I laughed out loud a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
lot of
it's
this
a genuinely funny film, and it just like takes itself. It's like not afraid. The power of this movie for me is like the power of the yes and that was clearly happening in the writers' room.
Yeah.
Like it just seemed like it was a very fun project to work on for both the actors and the writers.
Yeah.
On this,
Yeah.
because it's just like a fever dream.
Well, and I think that's what they do really well. Like, I think a lot of movies this is what, 2000? And I feel like a lot of
2000 it
movies
came
are
out,
trying to like, push CGI or like after, effects or writing. And this movie's like, how much dumb shit can we fit into, the runtime and have it be very clear that this is supposed to be like this movie sets up the precursor for, I feel like, Scary Movie or even like another teen movie.
yeah.
Like, this is the original Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And before we get a little further, I think we should dive into a little bit of a synopsis
Yes.
on this boy. Alex has a little Wikipedia thing pulled up. I'm going to try to just go off the dome with it.
You're gonna go off of it.
Okay.
Cool. Let's hear
So,
your synopsis.
so best friends, Jesse and Chester. Jesse is played by Ashton Kutcher. Jesse's Ashton Kutcher, and Chester is Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
Both wonderful in this movie. Basically, it's two stoner friends that wake up from a crazy night of partying that includes like a lifetime supply of pudding in their cabinet, and the eventual discovery that they don't know where Jesse's car is. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to find the car so they can get the birthday presents for their twin girlfriends, so their twin girlfriends will have sex with them.
Or so they think.
Or
They're
so
gonna
they
get a
think.
treat.
They're going to get a very special
A
treat.
sweet special treat.
The sisters' names are, what is it, Wilma and Wanda. Wilma and Wanda. Wanda played by Jennifer Garner, and Wilma played by Marla Sokoloff. Sorry if I'm butchering that last name. On their journey to get this car, they end up stumbling into basically a space-time conspiracy that includes the search for a mythical, powerful relic, hot ladies who may or may not be fighting for the forces of darkness, some Dutch folk who strive to keep the
You mean
universe.
Dutch folk? Beautiful Dutch men.
Beautiful Dutch men.
Beautiful blonde hair.
I will say, I will get off course a little bit. The like shoulder to chest ratio on one of those dudes went nuts. He was like a GI Joe action figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're basically on this journey. They're like trying to get the car. They're trying to figure out what this artifact is, and it's like a rediscovery of what had happened that fateful night.
And where the titular
Where?
question will be asked, dude, where's my car?
Where's my car?
Dude, where's my car?
But it's really what I love about this movie is it really plays like a series of like very excellently executed comedic vignettes.
Yeah.
Like just a bunch of little sketches that are like that are tied really well together through the main story. And like that's something that sometimes I don't really appreciate about movies like say Scary Movie, like the franchise in general, is a lot of the time when you're doing a movie of this style, you have like some fun sketches that are thrown throughout, but it doesn't really feel like a movie because there isn't like a maintained through line throughout it. Like their through line is just based on a general theme rather than like an actual like need from the characters.
Yeah.
You know? And Dude, Where's My Car is just like it's simple, and then they're able to take that simple foundation and like take it in so many different directions.
Yeah,
That are hilarious.
I feel like that was the most interesting thing for me is how much for the through line really takes you through it, and especially I feel like they always are in the right place at the right time and no one questions it, and even I didn't. I was like, you know what? It's not too Deus Ex Machina, like, you know, we can get through this. But honestly, I think where it really shines for me is I feel like this movie is surprisingly well written enough that like they always bring things up in later vignettes where even though I feel like it's a bit, they're always calling back to something that actually makes it like relevant to my understanding.
Oh yeah, especially I mean, the early dialogue had me really questioning how it was gonna go because I haven't seen this movie in many years, but I did watch it a lot, and I was like, oh, I really just like the way that these guys talk to each other right at the beginning. It's like single word question, answered by another question, single word, and it's just like okay, but like as it goes on, even just like the Rubik's Cube being pulled out randomly.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, he's playing with a Rubik's Cube, whatever. And then it just shows up at the end being the savior of the universe. And, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's really smart in that way, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really... A lot of times when you have movies that, like dumb comedies, they have to be written really smartly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have to be structured really well. Like, I would, like, honestly, I would say, like, you have like so many movies like that, especially like sort of like golden age like Will Ferrell movies.
Yeah.
Like you got like Step Brothers or like or like a movie like Dodgeball. I can't remember if Will Ferrell's even in that.
That's a Vince Vaughn film.
It's a Vince Vaughn movie.
Yeah,
Like you got like Dodgeball, like Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, like like the list goes on and on. Like so many comedies that are just like dumb, but they're just structured so well, and there's like just a level of like satire that's in there that has to be like really thought out for the jokes to like actually be funny. Like the moment that like the random dude like came out of when we see
their closet.
when we see one of the guys come out of their closet and he just pisses in their plant and then leaves, like the moment
And
where
they're just like, whatever.
well, no, but they're also like, who is that?
Oh,
He's like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
But that's
I
the fun about the punchline is that they both play it off like they know him, and then you get like, oh, they don't know who the fuck he is.
But it's like just the structure of that joke is so good because it like already like subverts the expectations. Because like in most movies that would just be like the drunk random roommate that they like don't use. They just like have him as a character for like this initial joke, you know. But then they lean even more into it. Like, I have no idea, you know, like
For sure. And it's so funny because at the very beginning, I wasn't. I didn't remember. I guess I maybe didn't see or something that this story is inspired by actual events, which is a thing that it says.
Is that actually what it
at
said?
the beginning? Yeah. And as you look up the synopsis like we always do. It's just because like the two guys who wrote it are the basis for Chester and Jesse.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's so similar to how at least me and you interact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just love it. I love it. I had such a good time watching this one.
It's so fun. Like all the characters are really well written. Like they're all such unique. They're just like such unique little people, just doing goofy
unique
shit.
little people.
Well, and I think they play a very fun caricature while also being very like realistic. Like I like that the hot blonde is looking for sensitivity. You know, like they always have this weird tinge to them.
Oh yeah. So we talked a little bit about I mean, it's so funny we're doing this so naturally, and honestly, like when me and Luke are together, I was like, okay, what's the good, what's the bad, do the synopsis, this, that, and the other thing. We talked a lot about the good. What do we not like about this film? What is something that kind of doesn't itch you in the right way? Because the thing that doesn't itch me in the right way is the Adidas tracksuits and the partying at the pool, which it's the funniest part. It's the funniest part of this entire movie. But I'm like, ooh, I don't know. They have grills. Why do they have grills?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
you definitely feel like the emergence from the 90s in this film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure,
like,
for sure.
I mean, there's dated shit. Like it's like I would like a sexist film. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like it is objectively. But I will say it's like one of those movies where like it's like a sort of tongue in cheek. It's like it's like tongue in cheek. It's like, haha, isn't this ridiculous?
Yeah.
It like clearly seems like everyone that's like part of this film was having like a great time, and that it seemed like it was a safe and respecting environment.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, this is definitely a movie that like my mother wouldn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I think especially where I think like the other guys telling the Will Ferrell movies in the later years, I feel like we're always going for like the scare, or, like the shock value. I think this movie doesn't have to try too hard to do that, but then it always kind of plays this line of like how wild can we be with our humor, and then just kind of play it off like nothing happened, which is definitely, I feel like, especially with some of the jokes in there, they can kind of like, especially even like not thinking too much about the morality of a comedy movie, but like I love how much they're like, we love our girlfriends, but anytime they get a chance to like get a sexual favor, grab a tit, they'll hand over anything they have for for a good licking, and it's
it's
but
crazy.
we're on a mission for our girlfriends.
it is funny to think about like when the like what's like the relic thing called?
Oh, the
Continuum transponder? No?
Yeah,
No.
well, yeah. Yeah, no, that's right. I think
The continuum transfunctioner.
Transfunctioner. So with the transfunctioner, like we have like the very clearly like kind of like satire Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
gals that
Yeah.
appear, and they're like, "Who are you? We're hot chicks. Like
We're hot chicks with really nice breasts.
we will give you pleasure if you give us the transponder." But it's funny because the transponder has already been explained to these guys as like being of utmost importance to like the safety of the universe and to like treat it carefully and like protect it with your life. And they're just so ready to give it away for oral pleasure.
Like, if we get a blowjob, well, the universe can explode. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit.
And I like that kind of bait and switch where it's like the nerds, in the beginning are so unassuming, and they're the ones who reveal like, the true balance of the universe being in play here.
They've been right the whole time.
Yeah, but then by the time they see the robots, it's the aliens. It's kind of non-serious at that point. But in the end, the nerds end up being the bigger threat. I feel like for part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're the biggest threat outside of the hot chicks turning into the big hot chick that destroys the mini golf course.
Is men in bubble wrap who kidnap people.
Yeah, I did like it when Wilma and God, is it Wilma and Wanda?
Wilma and Wanda.
Wilma and Wanda, they get kidnapped by what do they call them? The Xantharists?
Oh, Zoltan. Wait, no,
The Zoltans.
Zoltan.
The
Zoltan, that's
Zoltan.
what
The
it is.
Zoltanites. And like their bindings are like bubble wrap.
I didn't even
Just like
see
the general. No, yeah, like when they're like on the little like catwalk thing and they're like
We
bound.
have your girlfriend.
Yeah, they like have bubble wrap like over their like tied over their mouths and like they're bubble wrapped in their hands, and it's just like
Chester and Jesse are like, oh god.
yeah. But this movie really does feel like, I think in a, you can look at it whatever way you want, but I think in like a very like satirical way, just like it's like if like a 13 or 14-year-old like came up with like the idea for like the coolest story ever. It's just like these two dudes that smoke a shit ton of weed and like get into this crazy scenario, but like everywhere they go, like all of the women want to fuck them.
But also everyone
And,
hates
like-
them. Everyone
And
hates
everyone
them so
hates
much.
them. Yeah, but like just like big chested women just like are throwing themselves at their feet and they're like all for it.
Yeah, it's
It's
nuts.
just
You
like
know-
when they give the girlfriends the necklaces.
Dude, okay.
I'm like, I cannot believe this. Like, this is...
So that would be one thing I don't like,
Yeah,
So
I didn't really like that bit.
Well, no, I think that wasn't a great bit, but I think I'm so used to being like mildly offended at a lot of these jokes in this movie did not like sit well with me, and I was like, okay, at least they're not like dwelling on it too far. But I do think that for how many movies have just like jaded me for what they're gonna pull out as far as like a joke in this era, or even like movies I didn't remember being as like racist or fucked up as they were, I was kind of hoping they would have went it maybe a little bit farther with some of the jokes, because I felt like at a certain point they were like always getting themselves there, and they were like, but now we're never gonna acknowledge this, which was like, it was good and bad at a certain point. It was
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I wouldn't want it to be made now, but for the time I was like, okay, it could have hit me a little bit harder.
Yeah. And I mean, it is comedy. It's like all...
It is comedy.
And the style of it, like you were saying, it's like very much like a hit and run style.
Yes.
Of it, like, didn't see that, huh? And then move on to the next
Yeah.
one,
Oh my god. I will say, I think my favorite bit in this, and this is not to be at all insensitive, I'm being sensitive to the subject by saying, I really like the part when the quote-unquote hot chicks go to visit Wanda and... What was the other one?
Wanda and
Wanda
Wilma.
and Wilma and their staff at the deaf and blind sports event. And the kid is just working his magic, being blind, and being like, I'm gonna touch boobies.
This is how we say hi.
Yeah, no, it was fucking, oh my god, that was the best. I loved that fucking scene. I think that was my favorite comedic bit.
It was just so unexpected that, of course, like, these pure, like, kind girls are working at, like a deaf and blind school. Like, they cleaned up the dude's, like, horrible mess at their house and everything, and they're like still willing to give him like chance after chance after they've like proved to them that they're just not
They don't deserve
reliable or loyal.
No,
Like,
yeah.
no,
they don't
do
deserve
not
them at
deserve
all.
No. But I think I don't know. A close second is maybe the what is it? The Chinese food bit, the and then.
That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
And then and that shows up throughout the entire
That
thing.
like
They were
that
this
that
is
felt
our
like
magnum opus.
that felt like an I think you should leave sketch.
It did. Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
did. I also see that on the internet a lot. Like that scene.
Oh, really?
From this
I've never
movie,
seen it.
I see often.
Yeah.
On the internet.
And I think that is maybe the saving grace of this movie is that I think for all the bits that I think now are almost, with subversive comedy, I think are driven into the ground. I think its saving grace as far as timelessness is that, for making jokes about, like Chinese accents or even like men being trapped in cages, it's all pretty lighthearted. And even like, they kind of pull on the transgender aspect of the stripper, but she ends up on top. Like, she and her man are going out with that money and they don't give a fuck. And I was like, okay,
Exactly.
she wins in the end, honestly.
Oh yeah, she gets all of her money back. But I was so confused too. I was like, are they not spending their money?
Well, there was clearly money that was taken out of the case, and she was just like fine with it.
But
Maybe
they
it was
got a
their cut.
Porsche, and they got the Porsche, and I guess the tracksuits, which cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Did they
With
buy
the
it?
secret pockets. I really liked the tailor, the guy that played the tailor in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He was really good.
So just so our audience knows real quick, we have about a minute left on this Zoom. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little commercial break. We're going to come back and jump right back into it. Does that sound good, Andrew?
That sounds good to me.
All right. We'll be right back. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Bucket of Beef Show. We had to take a quick hiatus because Zoom sucks. So we're here with Andrew Biggs. Andrew, thank you again for being with us today.
No problem. Thank you. I have a quick question if you don't mind.
Yeah, what's up?
So as I obviously knew you guys were doing a podcast long before you guys had, well, actually I think you guys had shot some episodes when I did the branding for it. But I have a meta question, like a bucket of beef meta question that I've been wondering.
Okay.
So one, does the synopsis get easier each time you guys do it? Because I feel like as time has passed, I feel like you guys, it seems like you guys retained a lot more about this movie than I did. And I feel like, does that come with the territory of watching a lot of movies?
Definitely not.
Our synopses get worse and worse.
They do get worse
Every
and worse.
time.
And it's only I think the only reason today we were with it is because we're doing the episode maybe 2 or 3 hours after we watched the movie.
Yeah.
But a lot of times like the last episode we did Pulp Fiction, we hadn't watched that for almost 2 weeks before we decided to shoot.
It wasn't that long. It was probably a week.
Okay,
but still, it was a long time.
a week, and then you're like,
Most
okay,
of the time,
you gotta
we'll go like 3 or 4 days
yeah,
after
yeah.
having watched the movie.
And then initially, it was really easy because we were using Wikipedia synopsis, which is free use, public, whatever. It's easy. And I don't know if you suggested it or if I suggested it, but I was like, we should not only do it ourselves, but then we had these moments where we were like, we should do a little skit. We're actors, we can do little skits about the synopsis, and we did, and it was fun for a while. But I think it's just easier overall to just be just go off the noggin. And
Yeah.
To ramble.
Usually I make him do it. Usually I make Luke do it. Every time.
That's true.
Yeah. He's definitely the man for committing to the bit without knowing what he's doing and just following it through.
Oh, it's
Exactly,
amazing.
baby.
And then so we're just going to hop into question of the day, and then we'll get back into talking about it just a little bit more, and then we'll go into our sponsorship, and we'll call it an episode. So question of the day, which I spoke about before we started the podcast, so we were all mildly prepared.
Ooh.
We'll start with you, Luke, and then we'll jump to Andrew, and then I'll finish off. What
I have
is
to
at
start?
the top of your bucket list? What is something you really want to do, and what's at the top of your anti-bucket list, something you would never do again, period, point blank?
The top of I'll do what I would never do again, just because I don't have the time for it or the money for it. I would never take an unpaid internship again. I don't have a funny story for this.
It's very real.
I don't have a funny story for it. I just don't like working without pay. It's not.
You can at this point in your life, man.
No,
You can.
I literally can't do that. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. I would say anti-bucket list. I'm going to flip it on its head a little bit and like something that I would just never want to do. I'm never spraying mustard in my eyeball. All right,
And you've done
I'm
that.
never. No, the things that I would just never do.
Oh, okay.
I'm never putting mustard in my eyeball.
Honestly, they wouldn't pay you to be on Jackass. Then you
I know.
gotta be more bold than that.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
that's anti bucket list. A thing I would never want to do.
You're committed to the bit, but you're not committed to it, which is fair.
Get that mustard out of my
That's a
face.
thing. Yeah. No, gross.
And then bucket list thing. Oh, what would it be? It'd be great to own land one day.
It's the most like
to not be perpetually renting.
damn.
That's nice.
I want to
yeah.
own land. There we go.
It's like so real. It's like
Yeah.
it's like just like you get to that age where it's like I want to own space, that I can afford.
I also
So
10
sad.
pounds of gems.
10 pounds of gems.
Yeah, give me 10 pounds of gems right now.
I mean,
Damn.
yeah.
What is
okay.
this D&D?
Yep,
I was about to say you need to be a treasure hunter for a little
10
bit.
pounds of gems.
Why do I feel like it's kind of easy to be a treasure hunter? I feel like it's not.
It's not.
It's not difficult. I feel like.
If you want to be a treasure hunter, you just have to like steal from the rich now.
Yeah.
All the tombs have been pilfered at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Just be
I mean,
Nathan
museums
Drake.
are right there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just like free to go into. Like,
or you could like become like a world power and you could just like steal artifacts from other countries. And be like, we're protecting the heritage.
We're no better than the people who stole it the first time. Let me tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
know
we're
what I mean? Fair
willfully
game.
telling you we're fucked up.
Yeah, humans have always liked to be like, that's my trinket.
That's what...
That's my shiny.
Oh my god.
Does it keep you alive? Kinda.
Kind of, maybe. It doesn't matter. All right. What about you, my friend? Tell us your
Okay.
bucket list and anti-bucket list.
So the bucket list item is a little bit bullshit because I really don't have a bucket list item.
Boo.
But
aspirations.
No. But my aspiration is very on brand for me. So
Okay.
I have always been a terrible liar, and people can usually tell when I'm lying. So I've decided I'm doing this thing recently where I willfully will say the most ridiculous thing on my mind and see how far it takes for someone to like not believe me. Like
Okay.
and it gets crazier and crazier as time goes, but I've realized that a bucket list item, most people like want to like, move to a foreign country and like reinvent themselves, but like I want to like go somewhere and just like bullshit everything. Like see how far I could take it. Like do a year. People take like a year sabbatical or like a year, to like find themselves. I want to do a year where I'm not myself. Like
I like that.
Like-
That's a really fantastic thing, honestly.
yeah. Start
You can
really
be
small.
be Anthony Carlisle for a year.
Yeah.
This can be your name.
Top
Just
of my bucket list, reinvention. I love
reinvention,
that.
but just for the bit. Like just so I can go back and be like, dude, they all thought like, I was in it for the long haul and then I just disappeared one day.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
multiple children.
Yeah, it's like the fucking the Pillow episode of Adventure Time, but he willfully was like, "Well, I gotta go. Like this was fun, but
Like, gotta dip.
gotta do."
Sorry, I guess, but gotta bounce.
Oh shit.
Okay, so that's your bucket list.
that's my
your,
bucket
that's your-
list.
Okay.
My anti-bucket list is a little more grounded. So this is no offense to the state of Washington or to Spokane. I want to make this very clear. But
wow.
I went on a cross-country road trip, and I somehow possessed myself that I was going to drive to Spokane and go to a boot shop. And immediately after getting there, you made a face, Alex. I got to know what you're
Sorry,
thinking.
I was like, okay, push up. Okay, I'm with you. Let's do it. Okay.
So I get there, and it's one of those things where like I get to the boot shop. I can't afford anything, obviously, because they're too fucking expensive.
Was it
And
like
then-
a world famous boot shop?
It's White's Boots Co. It's like a popular Pacific Northwest brand.
Oh.
But I get there, I window shop, and I realize it's 2 p.m. I don't have any fucking money. And now I'm in Spokane, Washington, and I do not want to drive anymore. So I was stuck in that
Damn.
city for an entire day with no plans. And, I'm not the most adventurous man, but like you can only drive to so many like Duluth trading co's or like parks,
Yeah.
So like before you're like, why the fuck did I do this? You know? So I will never drive somewhere solely for the idea of visiting one store.
How long did you walk around? Like, well, not how long did you walk around. Like, how long did it take you to get there for like that point in your destination?
So
to, like, visit a food store that you
woke up-
couldn't afford.
I woke up in Boise, Idaho, and I drove from Boise to Spokane. It was probably like a 6-hour drive, and I stopped in
Oh,
Pendleton. And then I was there all night. I went downtown. I went out to Coeur d'Alene, which is beautiful. And then I ended up going to a bar and hanging out with an O'Doul's and my iPad, and I made some friends. And then I slept in a Target parking lot until about 5 a.m., and then I drove to Seattle.
Damn,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
road warrior.
Road warrior.
I drove 10,000 miles in 3 weeks, so that was just a day of that
Crazy.
trip.
Damn, that's impressive, man.
Yeah. So
I would drive 10,000 miles and I would shop for pricey boots
I was
just
with
to
you.
be that man.
so yeah.
No, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess like weird top of my bucket list is just skydiving. I just want to jump out of a plane.
I want to skydive really. We should skydive together.
That would be a
It'd be
wild
really
fucking
fun watching you piss your pants.
I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm too wide though. Like I'm worried. Like I'm too short and stumpy. That because you have to have somebody attached to your back.
Yeah.
That he'd be like, "Can you just walk for me?" Like to the plane, and I would just have to like hunch over
to
and
carry him.
Yeah. But like that's like my only fear in skydiving. Otherwise, I would.
You could totally do it.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
think the weight limit for skydiving most times is like 350. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're like very good.
I'm not close.
Yeah.
Not close. And then I guess my anti bucket list. I'll never touch a Four Loko again.
Nah.
I decided that a long time ago. I decided that when I was 19. It's funny because we have a roommate now who was there for that last experience.
What happened?
I was at a party with someone I would eventually live with, who I don't live with now, but I would eventually live with. And I was just like, I was that super bold 19-year-old kid. I was like, I'll do anything. I'm going to be the life of the party, whatever. And I was like going super hard on some jungle juice. And this guy had Four Locos and no one would touch him. I was like, I'll have one. And he was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, no, I'll have one. Like, it's cool. And he was like, I'll tell you what. I'll bet you $100 you can't drink 2 of them right now. And I was like, bet I can do that. And he was like, you can take as much time as you want. You can take until the end of the party to have both Four Locos. Bet you can't drink both. I was like, okay. Cut to like an hour and a half later, I got through like half of the second one. And I'm being carried home by 2 people I barely know.
Oh shit.
I get into my apartment. I crawl. It's like a weird 4-bedroom situation, but I'm like crawling on this living room floor. I like can't stand up. I can't walk.
Oh, God.
And I start vomiting profusely. And it's really red because I had that jungle juice right at the beginning, and I'm like, oh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
So like there's a trail of just red vomit to the shower. I get in the shower. I fall asleep in the shower. I wake up shivering and cold, like my hands are blue.
Oh my God.
I get out and I go into the living room and I see the red trail and I'm like, I might be dead. And I go to my bedroom and I lay down and I passed out for like 17 hours.
Wow.
It was the most destructive. So bottom line is no Four Loko.
I love the meta that you're like, I'm gonna die, but I'm just accepting it. Like,
Yeah, you're like, you gotta do it. I don't know.
you know.
So yeah.
That's why I don't drink anymore, honestly. I mean, I will drink occasionally, but I cut out drinking because that shit will get you fucked.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, drinking as a whole, I mean, I feel like, especially as I'm older now, grappling with it is such a thing.
Yeah.
And like it's so I don't know what the word, like bold in our age group, our society.
For sure.
And like everyone's like, do it, it's cool, it's fun, it'll get you to where you need to be social with your peers. I'm like, nah, it's not necessary.
Especially
As he
when
drinks a Victory Gold Monkey
As I drink
IPA.
Gold Monkey. However, don't need it. You know.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I get you.
I love the
Okay.
victory. If you would have made it to 2, you probably would have been passed out, but still been able to claim the money. You know?
Honestly,
your
if you didn't drink the jungle juice, you probably could have done it.
Yeah. But he waited until I was like already not well.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
you can't do it. And I
He
was
planned
like, of course
that.
I can.
He was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I don't
for
want to bring these home. He played it up on you.
Okay, so jumping back into Dude, Where's My Car? We talked about the good, the bad. I want to know who is everyone's favorite character or caricature in this one.
Damn.
Because I think I really like the guy who gets his dog high. While I don't agree with him doing that, he's just vibes, and I like it.
I liked it when the jocks were like beating him up, and they had him held down, and they were just like patting his belly. They were like drumming his little belly, like very lightly, like you would to a large animal. Like
I loved that.
that was really good.
Honestly,
So he's your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
he's your favorite. I really, really liked. So this is maybe a little meta, but I like in Chester and what the fuck?
Jesse's.
What's the other one's name?
Jesse.
Jesse. I like when one of them is the smart one, if that makes sense. Like in the beginning, they start off real fucking dumb, but I think there's always these moments where one of them, like when Chester fucking knows the ostrich fact in the cage,
Yeah.
I'm like, that is like so relatable. Because I feel like in the era of content, it's like I never know anything, and then one person is like, "What do you know about pogo sticks?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm fucking ready. Like I was prepared for this moment," and I empathize with that man.
I fuck with that.
It
That's
is
like how
funny,
I am
just,
about
like-
Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
Luke,
So
what do you
what
got
about you?
for us?
Did you have your favorite?
Oh, who would mine be? I'm trying to go back into the depths. I think it's the Dutch boys or the German boys or the Austrian boys, whatever they're supposed to be.
You loved that man's chest. Like,
I
the
love
second he appeared on
them.
screen,
I
he was
also
like,
love
oh
it.
my god.
They save the universe because they guess they like say the hole in one correctly
Yeah.
for the 18th hole, and like they're like everyone's celebrating and they just like hold each other and they like put their foreheads together.
Yeah, honestly, when they were like, "Oh yeah, it's the two gay men," it's like, yeah, no, they have a special connection traveling the universe.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah. Oh yeah. What kills me though, I was like, did Jesse
love
and
them.
Chester know what they got on that last hole in one? Did they say that? Did I
Well,
miss that?
the reason that they knew what they got is because they saw the poster that was, if you get a hole in one on the 18th hole, you get a lifetime supply
shit.
of pudding.
Dude, the
because
bit
it's a
comes
smart
back.
movie.
Yeah.
Because they pay attention to the shit that they put into their movie. The pudding's not just a throwaway thing. The Rubik's Cube is not just a Rubik's Cube. The straw has a purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
The only thing that didn't was the kaleidoscope, I think. Just the kaleidoscope.
yeah.
Everything else did.
Well, that kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, they're going to try to play the kaleidoscope off as this transponder.
Yeah.
yeah.
Basically. Yeah, it's all just
So
fun.
I have a hot take.
Yeah. Ooh.
So in playing back to Luke's millennial fantasy about owning land, for how ridiculous this movie is, I feel like the ridiculous shit is the most relatable. Like, being swooned after alien women and fighting nerds, for space-time continuum was relatable. But the fact that two men that are pizza delivery guys and half-ass at it can afford a single home with each other.
Oh my god, I didn't think about that.
They've been
yeah, I
dating,
mean, it is a shithole, but it's true. Yeah.
They've been dating these women for a year and never even had sex, which I feel like is unheard of in today's age unless you're celibate or Catholic.
100%.
And there's so many elements of the reality where those Adidas suits were expensive.
Well, they have the secret pockets.
Yo, what's crazy is they had the music swelling and they're like, I'm like, what the fuck
I love the
is
berets
this?
they get in the end. The berets are so cute with their names.
Yeah, that was cute.
I'm gonna go back really quick. I'm gonna say my honorable mention favorite character was their boss at the pizza place.
Oh yeah, Mr.
I thought he was really fun.
Pizza Capo.
Yeah, Mr. Pizza Capo.
He's
I don't
always
know what it is.
he's always dressed and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yo, he delivers his own pizzas. Jesse and Chester were not there at the fucking what was the last place they were at?
At the arcade.
At the arcade. He was like,
Space-O-Rama.
I'm gonna hand deliver these 30 pizzas, and I was like, you go, sir.
Yeah.
For all we
He
know,
let the pizza fall on his face. He didn't know what was like.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't even know how to make a pizza for real.
Jesse and Chester made him go real down bad, so he's got to do his own work.
also, really quick, I mentioned this. Like young stoner bros make the best pizzas.
Yeah.
Like their pizzas are so good. I'm not gonna name the name of this restaurant that Drew and I used to eat at all the time when we were in high school. Starts with a G. It's a pizza spot.
It's gone now.
Is it gone now?
It's closed. It's closed.
Okay, so I'm
Oh,
not
then
worried
talk
about
about
talking
it. Yeah,
about
Oh
it.
shit.
This
Okay,
place-
I'm glad.
So this place is called was called Greg's Pizza. It was actually right next door to a Little Caesars Pizza. But what was incredible about them is you could go, and correct me if I'm getting the price of this wrong. You could go in and you could get what they called a slice special, which was basically like a huge slice of pizza. It was basically like a quarter of a pizza in one slice. And you would get that, like a medium-sized drink, and a half bag of breadsticks, which is half a dozen. And these breadsticks are all probably like, I would say at the least like 6 inches long,
Yeah, like a strong girth. You know.
like 4 to 6 inches
girth,
with a
yeah.
very strong girth,
Yeah.
a very pleasing girth, you know. And the shit slapped, and it came with like free like chive cheese, like
Yeah, you get
chive
cheese
cream
dip.
cheese dipping sauce, garlic cheese
Oh,
dipping
Cheese dip was
sauce.
to die for, dude.
And it was cold, and it was so good, and it was like $5.
It was less than $10. I mean,
It was
and this
$4.50, I think.
Shit, this would have been. God, I feel old now. This was like 2015.
Because I remember I would
2014.
pay $6.50 if I wanted to get
Yeah.
a cookie with it. But what was so good about Greg's is the dudes that worked there, like, you would never trust them for anything in your life aside from making pizzas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just like I'm sure, and that's like not knowing them. You know, one of our friends actually did work there, and he is an incredibly reliable and sweet boy. But off rip, if you're like a 65-year-old man and you're like looking into that kitchen without any prior knowledge of who these boys are, you're like, these boys were built for this.
Yeah.
Like, this is their calling, you know? And they made the best fucking food. They killed it. And then there was a fire in the building that Greg's was a part of.
Oh my god.
And they ended up letting go all of the young high guys, and they brought in a bunch of middle-aged folks who were depressed and smoked cigarettes constantly, but otherwise seemed sober. And let me tell you, the fucking quality of Greg's pizza, it dropped like 6 points out of 10.
Oh no.
It went
That's
from
so
like
sad.
a 9.5 to like a 3.5.
Yeah, it
Maybe a
wasn't worth it at that
3.2.
point.
You know?
Yeah.
It's bad. But the high boys, they know pizza.
Of course they do.
They know pizza.
Oh yeah.
You really underpinned the ways in which weed culture really does inform good food in certain places.
Exactly.
That's actually crazy to think about.
Exactly.
That like high folks are like solely responsible for 5-star reviews in a lot of instances.
That's true too.
Isn't that crazy
Exactly.
to think about?
Well, being high just teaches you what you already know, and that's that a good munch is
A good munch.
a good munch.
Yeah.
You know?
Like there has to be a Michelin star somewhere that is like solely based on someone's Zaza
Could be.
consumption.
He's like,
Could
I
be.
gotta go in for this review today, but I can't handle it. I'm just gonna get baked
Yeah.
as fuck.
The reviews just like got high as fuck, ate the pie, and cried.
I just picture these like really high end chefs. Their eyes are super red, and they're looking over like a stew, and they're just like, they're just like so. I don't know, just
Why are they crying?
because it's so good.
Oh, I
It's like-
see.
it's like-
I thought
They're
they
so
were. I thought they
excited.
were mixing it up, and they were afraid of what they'd made.
Maybe a little bit. They're
Like-
like afraid of how good it's gonna
What,
be.
what have we done? Is this gonna make us do more work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have I done? What have I
Seriously.
created?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's jump into just our very final thoughts for Dude, Where's My Car? We had some incredible discussion. I'll
A
jump.
way to toot your own horn.
I know. I said we had some. Don't
No,
pat
I
my
know.
back, you son of a bitch.
I'm patting his back so hard. He's so proud.
No, I had so much fun watching this, and like that the raunchy comedy that we haven't seen in such a long time, like it's like oddly refreshing, even though like part of my spine like kind of like goes ugh, like you feel it. But like all these young actors that kind of eventually came up to be
Took
like
off and
yeah,
did crazy shit.
Yeah, that took
Jennifer
off.
Garner ended up doing 13 going on 30.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah,
come on.
yeah.
Or was this after that?
This was before. I
It was before, I think
Yeah.
it was.
had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so funny because this is like the white people's Friday.
It really is.
Or
It really is the White's Friday. Absolutely. That's very fair.
but it's still just a vibe. Like it still is just a vibe, and like I had so much fun watching it. And I mean, I wasn't fucked up when I watched it, but I could definitely be like, I could have a great time getting fucked up and hanging out and chilling with this movie. Ashton Kutcher's fun. Sean William Scott is fun. Jennifer Gardner's fun. Sokolov, I don't remember his
Hot
first name.
chicks were fun.
Yeah, hot
the
chicks were
Dutch,
fun.
fun.
Yeah, even the ostrich man was fun.
Yeah, I
Dude,
forgot.
that was Data. That was Data from Star Trek. My
yeah,
dad confirmed.
shit.
No shit!
Yes.
Yeah. That's crazy. I also love, just quick shout out, that the opening credits very much read like an Animorphs book cover.
The instant it started, he was like, Animorphs?
Yeah,
Like, it's
literally.
like-
For all of those of you that haven't ever seen an Animorphs book cover, just look it up. Watch the opening credits for this movie, and then just search Animorphs book covers, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about.
And my very last thought is Fabio
Yeah, Fabio.
is the pillar of love and fun that encapsulates what this movie really is.
Yeah, that Fabio
in
scene.
full. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Fabio.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
Fabio.
dude.
I've
Fabio
heard that.
wa-
I didn't even realize. Okay, I've heard that name so many times. I was like, oh shit, it's that guy.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, Fabio.
Damn.
The guy from all the books. I think he's a book guy.
All
first.
the fuck books.
Yeah. All the
All the fuck books. Luke, do you want to go?
Good, fun, good, smart, dumb, good, fun. That's my feedback.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Damn, that was so well articulated.
Thank you.
I had to look this up, but this movie was made for $13 million, which I feel like with how much we feel, I
Wow.
mean, like the Lord of the Rings series was made for $1 billion. So, in perspective, like no money. Even in 2000, I feel like that's no money.
No, not at
And
all.
I think this movie outdid itself 100% for how low brow it is. Like the dancing bits, some of the dumb shit they pull in there, the Fabio scene. Honestly, the scene where they make out as a sign
So
of
good.
respect.
Oh
to
my god!
Fabio is
I
so
wasn't
funny.
expecting. They really
It's so
went for
good.
I
that
loved
shit.
it.
I was like, wow.
But even just like I don't know, I feel like as we go into like the later 2000s, I feel like so many low budget movies are really trying to be low budget movies, and they end up kind of ruining themselves because they're not trying to be a good movie. And I think this movie did its best to be good, and I think they kind of succeeded in that way. And I'm
100%.
impressed. I'm impressed they made a movie for this price that was as good as it was.
Knowing that for sure alters what I'm gonna give it on the scale. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, $13 million. That's really impressive.
It's super low. Yeah.
Wow.
Shit. So yeah,
Um,
no, I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was creative, and I feel like even if you've never seen it, you can say, "Dude, where's my car?" and it will stay iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
for
true.
sure. I think I'm gonna give this an 8.1 out of 10.
Ooh.
I will say what you just said has altered that score for sure. Because I think initially I would have probably given it like a 7.1, just like a full point off. But like off
Wow,
of a
a full
$13 million
point?
budget,
Damn.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And like you even said, it was made with love. You could tell it was made with love, and it was a passion project for sure for somebody, for the writers who would say it's based on actual events, which we're doing anyway.
Pretty funny.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm settled with 8.1. I think.
All right. You want to go, Drewby?
Yeah. So admittedly, I feel kind of bad for saying this, but I picked this movie. But I am not a comedy man. I don't really respect them, and I think that, I think that movies that change the human experience this is not one of those movies.
Sure.
You know, so I am gonna give it a solid. You know what? And for the bit, I'm gonna do a 6.9 because I feel like
Hey,
lower on the scale because honestly, it doesn't move me anywhere. But I do think it's worth being up there with the greats of comedy, or maybe it might even maybe underrated compared to some of the movies we think of good comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
I dig that. I dig
For
that
sure.
a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go 7.8.
Ooh.
Fun movie, and I've said this on a million of our podcasts before. If a movie is unashamed, unembarrassed, and fully dedicated to being itself, and dedicates itself to the bit and the idea, I appreciate it. And so I appreciate the hell out of this movie for that. I think they had a really wonderful team that got together on this. It seems like it. I know nothing about what really happened behind the scenes. Maybe it was a nightmare. But in my brain, I choose to believe that people had a good time.
Oh, for sure.
And that the vision was fulfilled.
No, I totally, yeah.
Mad
I'm with you
respect
on
to
it.
that.
Oh, boy.
We're
All
good.
right. I know. Okay, so we have 10 minutes left that we have to wrap up within 10 minutes. So we're going to give our beef score. We're going to dive into our sponsorship, and we'll get out of here. So,
Cool.
beef score. Imagine pudding. Imagine beef pudding.
Like bread pudding.
Imagine it.
Not bread pudding.
You get mostly like ground pepper. Mostly ground pepper in a pudding. It's a chocolate pudding with ground pepper, with bits of beef.
Ugh.
Like basically, like what I'm going for is beef jerky, highly peppered beef jerky, Jack Link's beef jerky, peppered pudding.
In chocolate
Yeah.
pudding.
Yeah, in chocolate pudding form.
Damn.
I think that is like it's like look, you're gonna try it. It's odd, it's strange. Dude, where's my car? No one knows what that movie's gonna be about, really. You put it in your mouth, you taste it, and you're like, I get the sweet. It's very sweet. It's very subtle. It's very kind because of the chocolate. But then you get the pepper. You get the more adverse like jokes, the strangeness, the weird aspects of it, and you swallow, and you're like, you know what? I did it, and thank God I did it. And that's that. I think.
Beautiful. The one that I'm gonna go with is that they at Aldi they sell these little like microwavable half burger things. It's like burger, American cheese, like in a half of a tiny pita bread.
Ooh.
And you microwave them.
Ooh.
And on paper, it's like it just seems like dumb and silly, and like just doesn't really make sense. Like a weird combination. But when you taste it, it fucking slaps. It's like garbage. It's delightful garbage. It makes me happy.
Damn.
And it reminds me of getting high in college.
Mad
Oh
respect.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So my beef score is gonna be like ordering pad see ew at a really sketchy Thai restaurant. It's 9:30. You have no plans. You order takeout. It's dark. You get there. It's kind of dingy. It's kind of sketchy. You don't know how you feel. You get your pad see ew, your brown noodles, your broccoli. You drive it home. It's still warm. You go in to eat it. You find out the beef is like a nice bulgogi. Something like well serenaded, well seared. Like you thought this was gonna be a bad night, but you go to sleep full. You went out there and adventured into the darkness, and you came back to the warmth. And the sleeper. The sleeper is what I'd say.
The sleeper.
That's incredible.
The
that
sleeper.
was beautiful.
Well said.
Someone should make that, by the way. If someone ever wants to make pad see ew with bulgogi, I'll judge you for it.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
Honestly, if you're listening, make it. Send it to us.
All right.
Let's get it done.
Bam. Hopeful sponsors.
Hopeful
Here
sponsor
we go.
time.
A pill that makes your shoulders not hurt. It just fixes it. Not like temporary fix like Tylenol or Advil. I'm talking flesh healing serums. All right, in a gel cap form. It's free. You get a free pizza with every purchase.
What are you naming it?
It's called Fix You Right Up, please.
Fix you right up, please, Bill.
Yep.
Okay.
Fix you right up, please.
How much
Phil.
does it go for?
It goes for $2.
Wow, that's for a perma-fix? That's
Yep.
nice.
Permafix. Yeah.
They would never make it that cheap.
Yeah. Huh?
No.
Yeah.
Big Pharma said big money, and you're going to give it. Okay. Andrew, you want to hit us with your hopeful sponsor? This is a big deal. This is the first
this is
hopeful
my first.
sponsor from someone outside of us two. This is
Wow.
big.
Yeah. Well, so I knowing Luke this long, knowing he's my connection, into this world, I'm gonna say I want to be sponsored by Minor Inconvenience. Everyone goes to the dark web to hire hitmen, criminal underlords, but I just want to hire someone to like inconvenience, someone to do something for me, like not slash his tires, but like leave a nail in there, flat premium, above board business, like minor crimes,
I like that.
Like an egg on a windowsill.
Yeah, like
You just wake up and there's a broken egg.
It's like like they left the heat on in the pan and then they put it in the in the sink.
Yeah. It's like one roll of toilet paper that got finely shredded and is spread throughout your entire living room.
Oh, I love that.
In the spirit of the Trout Prince, Minor Inconvenience.
Yes.
How much would it cost to rent this person?
I'm gonna say it depends on the job. Like any good hitman. If you want to play a premium, you can get them. But I'm gonna say like a strong. You could probably find a guy for $75 who would like clog a toilet.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Just gotta feed him first.
Oh yeah.
You gotta that's 75 and you gotta feed him some beans.
That's awesome. I think okay. So I don't know if people know in this podcast. I've been dating someone for a while. You know how when you and your significant other can't decide on what to eat or what to go do, you just can't do it. I want to have an app where like this app just decides everything. You're just like there's like a food tab or like a do tab. You pick one, and it's like if me and her can't figure out what we want to eat, it just tells us what to do.
Honestly, that's got some scary implications.
Does it? You think
Like
so?
you do enough of those, and then the algorithms like steal a car.
No.
Yeah, see, that's how your two services could mix together, because if you want to, if like you're on Drew's platform and you want like a cheaper, you want someone to do like just weird shit for you for free to inconvenience people, you could have like a backdoor in Alex's app.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Egg John's house.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing when they're playing into the service.
Like, I guess we have to. It's the event for the day.
The event. We just
Weirdest
gotta
date
fix this
night
shit.
ever.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
It's like a spit in Sally's salad.
That's for like married couples. That's for like people who've been married for like 20, 30
Yeah.
years. Just like spit in their salad. I'll give you $75 and baked beans. Just please help. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps up this episode of the Bucket of Beef Show. Andrew, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I
No.
really appreciate it. You were an incredible
We had
guest.
such a good time.
Oh no, thank you guys so much for having me on. Thank you much for letting me, build your identity and put you out there in the world and be behind your beautiful voices. It's been a pleasure to see it grow, and with the Patreon and all the episodes. I'm very honored, honestly.
Oh, we're honored for sure.
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to plug while you're here? Is there anything that you do or
Yeah, what are you
want to
up to,
tell
huh?
anyone? Like,
Honestly, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, but host a craft night. Learn how to paint, even if you suck at it. Have fun with your friends, build communities, because as we said, shit's expensive, life's scary. So do fun shit. It pays to have fun with your friends.
absolutely does.
And yeah, that's it from me.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah. Well, gang, my name is Alex Morrison.
My name is Luke Hodson. His name is...
Andrew Biggs.
And thank you for joining us this fine evening, morning, afternoon, dusk, dawn hour that you're listening to this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Special shout out to all of our patrons. You guys make the world go round for us. 100%. Thank you to everybody who listens, chuckles.
Especially when they check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Bucket of Beef
Listen
Show.
to us with joy or disdain in your heart.
Whatever floats your boat, baby.
We'll pay for a mortal enemy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Do
hit him
good
with
things.
the outro.
Quest
Be nice to
complete.
yourself.
Thank you, hero.
Bye bye.
Ending of the pod.
He's a liar. He's a liar.
Beef.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the bucket.
Bottom of the bucket.
Yeah.
Beef.
Seasoned to perfection.
Divine.
Too wet.
Beef.
It's a masterpiece, baby.
Beef.